You're still on this earth because God says I can multiply that. Man, I wasn't even. That's why we have to be intentional about extracting poison and brokenness that's in us, because that multiplies too. That's why it's not cute when it shows up in your children and you didn't even teach it to them. I refuse to let it multiply again on my watch. It can't multiply with my kids. It was multiplying until it ran into me. And when it ran into me, it couldn't multiply any longer, because I decided it was time for some new math. It was time for a new way of being. It was time for a new way of praying. I'm a first generation, but I won't be the last generation, because multiplication.
Wow, Sister Sarah, girl, I had to go and get my tambourine out for that, because all I see is a whole new, different kind of math problem matriculating on this episode. And this time, it's all about subtraction. Hi there, I'm Professor Blackmore, and welcome back to my channel. And I just want to let the church say amen. Because I'm coming back to you today with part 2 of the Woman Thou Art Loose, ProfessorBlackmore.com pre-show. Now, I laid the foundation for part 2 of this series back in part 1 when I took you back to the divorce decree pertinent to the dissolution of the marriage relationship between Sister Sarah Jakes Roberts, aka the daughter of TDJakes, and her former husband, Robert Henson. And just as Sister Sarah successfully executed her Woman Thou Art Loose operation number 1 that I talked about in part 1 of this series, by terminating her marriage relationship with her former husband, Robert Henson, she now seeks to execute her Woman Thou Art Loose operation number 2 by terminating the parent-child relationship between her daughter, Mackenzie Henson, and her former husband, Robert Henson. And if you want to know if I think Sister Sarah will succeed in her Woman Thou Art Loose operation number 2, you'll have to stick around until the end. And so, let's jump right in. Now, on or about May 4th, 2022, Sister Sarah filed this petition seeking to terminate the parental rights of her former husband. And here on page 2, the child is identified again in this petition in similar fashion to the divorce decree, namely Mackenzie Ann Henson. And now, as specified here, also on page 2, for whatever reason, Sister Sarah thought her former husband was residing in Virginia. But come to find out, it seems that he actually resides in Colorado. But I'll get into this a little bit later. Now, the first thing that I wanted to know is, why does she think she can pull this off? I mean, what is the basis of her legal reason for thinking that she can actually strip her child of her biological father? And so when you look at page 3, you'll see that she states termination is in the best interest of the child, and such termination is requested because the parent, i.e. Sister Sarah's former husband, Robert Henson, has voluntarily left the child alone or in the possession of another without providing adequate support of the child, and remained away for a period of at least 6 months. And the parent failed to support the child in accordance with his ability during a period of 1 year, ending within 6 months of the date of filing of this petition. Now, I find it very interesting that Sister Sarah is requesting that a guardian and/or attorney ad litem not be appointed by the court in this case, and that she states the interests of the child will be represented adequately by her and that her interests are not in conflict with the child's interests. Okay, so Sister Sarah, girl, I don't think anybody doubts how much you love your child, but I equally don't think that anybody thinks that it's wise to just take your word for it that this would be in the child's best interest without seeking the expertise of professionals who can confirm this. And so they're also making it clear here that they intend to request that the court records be sealed in this case. So we shouldn't be surprised when that happens, because that is what they love to do, seal up all the court records over there at the Potter's house. But anyway, now, I really don't think Sister Sarah thinks these grounds she stated here will be enough to once and for all and forever strip the father of his parental rights. But before I tell you what I think they're banking on, let me show you another important document in the case file.